it seem like we feel the same? We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't widen it.
How to understand the power source for patience. Hello friends, this is Yunda, and today's share is about understanding the power source of patience. We all must work on with ourselves to have more patience. It is very important if we want to live our good life, if we want to be a good neighbor, a good friend to another person. We must understand the source power for patience. Remember, patience is a virtue, and it is very important that we practice patience and more patience every day. This is very important because especially in our day-to-day life, we encounter a lot of different kinds of situation and challenges that cannot be avoided sometimes, that we will be impatient. But if you really understand the source power for patience, it becomes easier for you to handle all these things when you meet different kinds of trials and difficulties or challenges in your day-to-day life. To understand the power source for patience, first you have to understand where you come from, who loves you, who made you to be the person you are today. Yes, you have to understand that the creator of the universe is the source power for patience. Yes, you have to understand that why when you know you are a good Christian, you are living according to the will of God, you are living in a spiritual lifestyle, you experience more and more to be patient. To understand, being patient is really about understanding other situation. It is about understanding the other person. It is about understanding what the other person is struggling right now. Fully acceptance and understanding of the situation. You will fully understand this when you believe in God and when you are living in a spiritual lifestyle, because you know how to be more patient. You know how to look at things in a different perspective. You know how to understand more because you have an open mind when you are in a certain challenge or in a certain situation in that moment. It becomes easier for you to handle things when you fully understand the source power for patience. Because living in a spiritual lifestyle, you have to be a real Christian. A real Christians are patient, loving, understanding, passionate, and helpful to one another. You want to be more patient of the situation you have, to trust in the Lord that things are happening for a reason. It might be so difficult of the situation right now, but when you believe in God, it becomes easier for you to understand and handle things. Why? Because you are using the power source for patience which God had gifted you. As I told you before, we are all gifted. We are all blessed by God with a special gifts. And that special gifts you have to use that is in you to be more patient, to be more passionate to one another. And we are going to use the tool within us when the trials and challenges comes. To understand the power source for patience, we must understand the why. Why is it the people seem to be more patient with perfect strangers than they do for their own family or loved ones? If walking down the crowded grocery store or someone accidentally bumps into us as soon as they start frantically expressing how sorry they are, we're quick to forgive and assure them that it's all right, no harm done. But if a loved one were to do the same thing, the response is a disgusted tone and cutting words. Watch where you're going. That is very human. We have our own temper, and that we have to understand. Also, why do you always have to be so clumsy? That is also a very human reaction when we don't have the patience. But usually, the person we have to least amount of patience with is ourselves. When we make a mistake or do the wrong thing, it's harder to forgive ourselves than it's to forgive others. That's because we expect more. So whenever we feel like a failure, we can be pretty hard on ourselves. As Christian, we understand the importance of forgiving others, but we also need to learn to forgive ourselves. When we are tempted to get frustrated, upset, or angry, instead of totally losing it, tap into the power source of patience. Remember this. Tap the power source for patience by praying for an extra outpouring of God's Holy Spirit. With God's power working through us, we will have the strength to face whatever comes our way, and do so with kindness, dignity, and strength, and patience. With God's Holy Spirit power, we can conquer any storm. Yes, even the storm within ourselves. We can conquer that when we really understand to tap into the power source for patience that we must remind to ourselves always, especially when we are living in a spiritual lifestyle. It is very important to understand as a human being living in a spiritual lifestyle. As it says in 2 Thessalonians 1:11, therefore we also pray always for you, for our God would count you worthy of His calling, and fulfill all the good pleasure of His goodness and the work of faith with power. It continues in 2 Corinthians 4:7. But we have the treasure in earthen vessel, that the excellence of the power may be of God and not of us. When you believe in God, when you live according to His will, when you want to live according to His laws and commandments, it becomes easier for you to understand that the Holy Spirit will help you to understand more the power source for patience. For me, when it comes to this matter, it becomes easier for me to understand when I decide that I will let the Holy Spirit lead me and control me, to give me self-control and self-discipline. It is very important that we acknowledge that we are not alone, that the Holy Spirit is within us always to help us to do the right thing. We must have the patience, the understanding when things are difficult, when challenges comes. Challenges comes suddenly in our day-to-day life, and that we have to be aware to tap the power source for patience. Believe me, if you are really a Christian living in a spiritual lifestyle, it becomes easier for you to react right away with this power source for patience, to understand the situation, to be silent and wait for the right thing to do, because the Holy Spirit will work on you, and you can think of the Holy Spirit is there within you right now to handle the situation. This is Yundel. Thank you for listening. Thank you for dropping here in my channel. I am very grateful to each and every one of you supporting me here in my life journey. You are not alone. Remember, there's the Holy Spirit will help you to tap the power source of patience so you can handle things correctly and smoothly. I love you all, and bye-bye.
Like we feel the same, we love what we have.